Hey everybody, Steven here, and today I'm doing an unboxing video for the Aukey 104 key mechanical keyboard. So this has RGB lighting with it. This is it right here. This has the red switches, so I went with red versus blue. The interesting thing about at least the Amazon listing, is they do have a tab here that actually shows an image showcasing the difference between the two. So linear and smooth is the red switches versus tactile and audibly clicky with the blue. 45 gram force essentially is what you need to get this to register with the red versus 50 grams with the blue. 2 millimeter pre-travel distance with the reds versus 1.9 with the blues, and then 4 millimeter total travel for the red and the blues here. But let's get this unboxed. I do like how simplistic the box is. Clean, nothing fancy on it. We open this up here and it's just going to sit right there in the middle. This is listed typically for $65. Right now it's on sale for $55. I'm trying to get more into videos around some of this in terms of accessories where it's in that $50 price range. That seems to be one that a lot of people can afford, and it's not going to break the bank. This is it right there. So we have this aluminum casing to it and then the cord here. And I want to make sure that I get a lot of these details right with this. I mentioned the 104 key with this. We have 7 color presets, 12 lighting configurations with this. I'm assuming there's software obviously to mess with any of this. I haven't had any Aukey, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but I haven't had any of their peripherals, so I'm actually excited to see this. Yep, G-Aim Control Center, so I'm going to have to download that, get this all set up with this. I want to see if there's a little bit more on here. Cable length, 1.6 meters, so 5¼ feet long, which is what you're seeing here, and then this weighs 2.2 pounds. It is light. And just to look at the difference, this is my Logitech. Is this the G900? G915. This is the tactile. So obviously a little bit more compact with that. And a lot of people are going to like that versus this. This is big. And it, like I said, it's very, very light. But going from wireless back to wired is going to be a change for me. I try to go wireless with a lot of my peripherals, but man, I like the look of this. Very clean. You don't have any USB pass-through. You do on the back here have the bumpers, so if you want to actually raise this up, which I usually do. And then we have not only the rubber on here, but the rubber on the bottom as well, and on the back of these, so it hopefully doesn't slide around your desk with this. But feels good. I mean, it's not going to feel the same as these over here, because I believe these are the Romer Gs, but let's get this thing set up, and then I'm going to cut to really B-roll, and I'm going to do commentary over this. I'm going to tell you guys about my first impressions, some of the stuff, maybe if I ran into any problems with this, hopefully not, and then really just the gaming experience. And then I want to do a sound test also, outside of me just sitting here and doing it on camera, like a legit sound test with this. So let's go ahead and cut over. Alright, so after spending a little bit of time with this, I can say that this is a quality product, especially considering it's only $55. I do want to mention that the frame for this is steel, not aluminum like I had actually mentioned. And then in the box itself, you'll get the user manual, and then you'll get a keycap puller as well, which is a nice touch, so you can remove these and potentially replace them with any custom keycaps if you want to go that route. And so with this, the big thing is the keys feel amazing, the lighting looks great on this, and gaming is solid in terms of performance. But let's break this down a little bit. So first I want to actually start with just a sound test. So let's cut to that. All right, so that was the sound test. Hopefully that gives you an idea not only of what these sound like, but also what they may feel like. I love the feeling of these. It feels very similar to my Razer Black Widow Elite keyboard that I have on my second rig here. And setup was really easy with this. I just plugged it in and then I was good to go. And so with this, you actually have to track down the software. That was a little bit trickier to do. I'm going to make sure that I showcase that for you guys overlapped on this right now. That way you actually know, because on the website, you actually have to like scroll all the way to the bottom to find the specific one for this. Now, once you have that, it's easy to use, but let's actually showcase some of the lighting effects with this. All right, so this is the software. It's pretty basic, but I definitely think it's better than the software I've used with Deluxe and Ajaz for their different mice. So with this, we have static, we have tumbling here, and you can change the speed and the brightness of this as well. After that, we have on press, so you're gonna see me push the buttons and so that color kind of lingers for a second. I like that one. And then beyond this one here, twinkling. And so you'll kind of see them obviously twinkle. There it is. And that's me adjusting the speed for this as well. Then we have the laser. So this is going to shoot across that row anytime you actually push a key. Beyond that, we're going to have the vortex. This one seems to do that same spot for the pattern as well. Down at the bottom, it says you can change the direction, but I was having difficulty with that. Neon here, so that's just going to, it's kind of like a breathing effect. Rain, which we'll see right here. And these are pretty common with other high-end keyboards, so I'm glad to actually see that with this. And then we have the ripple. This is another one of my favorites. You can also import your own settings, so if you wanted to do that, that's definitely an option. I don't know how to do that on this, but then we have the color fountain, which is like rainbow. It's just the way it's actually doing the color pattern is different. And then you'll actually get into rainbow here, which just seems to kind of glide across from left to right, but you should be able to actually change the direction with that. Sync to all, you have breathe, neon, and then you can turn this off as well. Beyond that, you can actually map out your own keys also. So let's cut over to that. All right, so I have the timing delayed just a little bit with this so I can kind of sync this better with the voiceover that I'm doing, but you can actually select with this. You do have to be in user mode 1 for the lighting effects here, and then you get to actually go through and choose what color are these keys going to be. The big thing here is it has to be static. I haven't found that it works with the breathing or the neon with this right now, but I do need to spend a little bit more time kind of working with this. Maybe I can actually figure that out. But let's go ahead and just generally look at the settings and the different stuff that you can do within the software really quick. All right, so this is it. G-Aim Ready and G-Aim Store at the bottom is just going to take you to their website. But once you're here, if you click on any key, you can assign a macro or another function. You can also just go to macros with this, but if you just click on the key, you can actually do that. Within this too, you have your standard configuration, but you can also import your own or make your own, and then with that, you could actually change this depending on the game that you're playing. We have the lighting, of course, which I've already covered. And then going to macros, you can actually just create your own macros and then assign the action to that. And then, like I said, put that in a certain configuration and then change that depending on the game that you're playing. And then you have the settings here, which is just updating the software. So that's going to be it for the software. It's not overly complicated, which I like, but it also doesn't have a lot of different things that you may find in other software, although it's pretty close. So with that, that's something that I think is going to be a draw for a lot of people. Now, if you don't want to download the software, but you still want to adjust the lighting, you don't technically need the software. Down at the bottom here is listed how you would actually do that. And this is actually how you would adjust the lighting for the bottom strip anyways. Now there's only 3 different settings with this, but that's how you would actually adjust those. So unless you want to do specific lighting for certain keys based off of games that you play, so that custom lighting for this, you really don't need the software if you're not going to do that or mess with the macros. So like I said, this is actually how you would adjust that. And then just to showcase it really quick, as you actually pull the key cap off here, you'll actually see the switch itself, and then you'll see the RGB light underneath that. So this was just really to showcase for you guys with that, and that's just gonna give that spill around the key here so that lighting effect comes through and showcases around the actual key. But if you do custom, it could actually shine a little bit more through the top if you wanted to, but in my personal opinion, it's plenty of RGB lighting. Alright, and to finish out, let's talk about gaming here. So I played Doom for a little bit. I've played other games since just this recording, and I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any input lag or keys not registering or anything like that. Everything's been very, very smooth with this so far. And for me personally, I like the feel of the keys. I've mentioned that. So for me, it's very comparable to the Razer Black Widow Elite that I mentioned that I have here at the house. And so I have no problems recommending this just off my playtime so far. And I'm happy with the purchase too. Looking at just the price point of $55, that's pretty affordable for a lot of people, considering the lighting effects that you're going to get with this, just how good the keys actually feel, and then just how well they actually perform while playing games. And not only that, when you're just sitting around typing, they just feel really good. The only thing I may knock it for is I'm used to, at this point, playing on the Logitech G915. So going to this, where it's a little bit smaller, I just noticed that my hands and the position felt a little bit off. It felt more cramped to me just because that is a bigger keyboard. And that's actually my daily driver. So compared to the Black Widow, they're pretty similar in terms of the spacing. That one's a little bit bigger, but overall, I'm just extremely happy with this keyboard. So I'm going to have a link for this in the description so you guys can find this for yourself. And that's actually going to finish everything out for this. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.